it's Jess. Today you'll see the food and theming at PYM Kitchen, from giant burgers to mini corn dogs and so many desserts. I'll also share my thoughts on how the food tasted and whether it's worth going to this restaurant. At the end of the video, you'll see how we rated the restaurant in terms of value for money, food, service, and theming. I'll also share whether it's worth it to go. First, some details about the restaurant. PYM Kitchen is the only all-you-can-eat buffet restaurant in Walt Disney Studios, and it's located in the Avengers Campus. It serves American cuisine and costs €45 for an adult, which includes a cold drink. For a child, it costs €25. You actually pay at the end of the meal for this restaurant. The restaurant theme is supersized or miniature-sized food based on the Ant-Man and the Wasp movies. There's also a giant PYM disc outside the restaurant. The restaurant is themed like a lab. Things are served in flasks, beakers, and test tubes. It's just really cool. As you enter the restaurant, it's like you're walking into the quantum tunnel from the Ant-Man and the Wasp movie, which I thought was really cool. Moving on to the food. Let's start with the adult section first. There's also a child buffet section, and you'll see that later on in the video. There's a selection of dried ham and fresh ingredients to make a salad, including boiled eggs, pickles, cucumbers, and cherry tomatoes. There was a roast chicken rillette and also cheese. I like how the cheese goes with the theme of the restaurant, with miniature-sized ones and a huge one. There's also ham and a rabbit and hazelnut pie. There's also hummus with jalapenos and nachos. I just love how they have the salad dressings in the lab flasks. There are a lot of salad options, including the Caesar salad with colossal croutons and the different types of toppings. You have the chicken, parmesan, and normal-sized croutons. They also have this freekeh and smoked salmon ancestral salad. Other starters include these vegetable noodles with a sesame and soy vinaigrette dressing. All the tables are served a giant pretzel, which looks delicious with that golden brown finish. We liked the taste of it, and it was nice and soft inside. Time for a close-up look at the food that we tried. First, there's a shrimps with citrus fruits dish, which was flavorful and refreshing. I also tried these prawns, which were quite large and served with this blue serum mayo to go with the PYM particles theming. The shrimps were slightly too salty for me, and they're actually available in various Disneyland buffets, for example, Cape Cod. The dried ham was quite tough and chewy, so I wouldn't recommend trying those. The salmon tartare was pretty good and fresh. They also had this smoked salmon eclair with cheese and vegetables in. There wasn't a lot of smoked salmon, but I really liked how light the choux pastry was, and the flavor was quite delicate. The kale soup was very salty, and there's also an assortment of bread rolls available. I liked how they included the PYM logo in the containers. What's really special is how they serve the drinks. They have signature cocktails, beers, and wines. The red wine is in a test tube, which really goes with the theming. I love how they use the lab flasks and the beakers for the other drinks, like this particles mocktail with red fruit serum. Speaking of theming, here's a close-up look at the table. I really like the test tube idea. The restaurant just has a very clean, modern feel to it. I like the use of the hexagon patterns around the restaurant. As you enter the restaurant, you will walk straight in and see the main part of the hot food, which is pretty cool. This is the view that you see as you walk into the restaurant. I really like the little details. It's also where the mains start. I really like how they have the screen which shows the food passing through and it's being shrunk or grown. At the end of the video, you'll see how we rated the restaurant. Moving on to the mains. First up, this jumbo beef hot dog with the mini ones in front. You'll also be seeing close-up shots of the mains as well. They cook pasta in front of you, which was really great, and I haven't seen that at any of the other Disneyland Paris buffets that I've been to. To match the restaurant theme, even the pasta is much larger in size compared to normal. There are two flavors, a tomato sauce one or a cheese sauce. The giant pretzel was pretty impressive. There was a gnocchi made from purple potatoes with mushrooms, and it's different to the purple gnocchi that we had at the Plaza Gardens restaurant and Cape Cod. I thought that the giant burger looked epic. When they serve it to you, it's literally like they're cutting a slice of cake. That's just how big it is. Let's just replay that in slow-mo. You can also see it compared with a subatomic burger on the plate. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so you'll be the first to know when my Disney restaurant and hotel videos are uploaded. For vegetarians, they have this plant-based crab flavor cake, and I spotted this vegan dish as well, which they called wheat strips and chickpeas. There was this prawn and coriander stir fry as well, and with this green beans dish, there's a surprise to it. Wait till you see the surprise in the close-up. Next, we have this giant jambalaya, a rice dish which I think has chicken meat in it. I love the little details, like how there are some mini plates to serve it in. Next to it was some mini corn dogs made of beef and pork meat. I like the presentation of it in the little lollipop stick. There is quite a wide selection of mains, including this barbecue pork breast. There is also a chicken and mushroom stew. The chicken was quite tough, so I don't recommend this dish, but the mushroom sauce is great. We quite liked the prawn and coriander stir fry. The green beans were flavorful and garnished with some crispy onions. And they are also the longest beans we have ever seen, which is quite a nice surprise. Time for the close-ups! For those who like fish, they had this glazed salmon with Asian spices. We liked the salmon, but the ones at Cape Cod and Plaza Gardens was even better. I'll be doing videos on those restaurants as well. The barbecue pork had a strong flavor to it and was tender, which was great. It's one of our favorite dishes at the buffet. The pretzel was quite dry and lacked flavor. I think it would have been better if it had more filling in and less bread. There was also this vegetable crumble, which was good. It has courgettes, aubergines, and tomatoes in. The white summer truffle cheese potato treats were great. They're a little bit like cheesy hash browns. The truffle flavor is subtle and not overwhelming, so I really enjoyed it. It was our first time trying jambalaya, and I thought it could have had more flavor to it. The corn dog was a family favorite. Warm, crispy coating with some breading wrapped around a mini sausage. It was delicious. The mini hot dog was one of our favorites in terms of flavor. It was so delicious. The mini burger, however, was just like a regular burger. Now let's see what the food options are available at the child buffet. Overall, I think it's pretty limited in the options available, but I saw children take from the adult section and also adults taking food from the child buffet. First up in the hot section is this cheesy pasta gratin. The dish behind it is the barbecue flavored breaded cauliflower. They also have rice, skinny french fries, and burgers. The burgers seemed a little plain with just some meat, cheddar cheese, and what looks like ketchup on. There are also some cold foods in the child buffet, but they didn't look particularly exciting. There was something called Kiri Mousse. I understand Kiri to be a brand of cream cheese. And there's also some chicken wraps. There's pasta salad, quail eggs, little mozzarella balls with cherry tomatoes and mini pork sausages to make a salad. There's also some dips and breadsticks too, plus a fruit salad. There's also these individual chocolate hazelnut mousses. Let's move on to the desserts. We have a carrot cake with the little PYM disc on, which is on white chocolate, a giant Madeleine with some mini ones in front. Then we've got some mini donuts, which look super cute and they're just so vibrant in color. There's also a red velvet cake, a gigantic strawberry dessert with fresh strawberries next to it, so you can really see the scale. And then there's more. We have a large beaker of red jelly. You can have the mini one. It's the blue jelly with mini forest fruit flavor, and it has a raspberry in. There's also a giant Oreo cake with some mini Oreos as a topping. And it doesn't end here. There's even more. There's a chocolate cake as well and a giant donut. There's also some mini sponge cakes with the blue and pink food coloring in reference to the serums that change the size of the objects. There's a raspberry coulis and blue custard to go with these mini cakes. There's also a vegan pear crumble, fruit tartlets, a super long pecan pie, which they call infinity pecan pie, and a cool dessert, which is called the Wasp cells. There's also some mini cheesecakes with the PYM disc printed on some white chocolate, and key lime pie. For the ice cream fans, we have the ice cream machines next to the hot food section of the child buffet with various toppings. And it's not over yet, there's a cheese selection too. Moving on to the close-ups of the desserts. Key lime pie. I thought it was delicious. It was sweet with just the right amount of tartness. The PYM cake was quite dry, so I would avoid that one. And the wasp dessert was a cool idea, but not very memorable in terms of taste. The cheesecake, however, was delicious. In terms of the ice cream, it was pretty average. Overall, I thought the restaurant was great. It's such a fun theme in this experimental lab. Don't forget to check out the artwork on the wall, they're really fun. As promised, here's our ratings of the restaurant. Let's talk theming. The theming was great. I really liked the restaurant concept and it makes it really fun and such a special experience. The food was surprisingly good and tasted fresh. There was quite a few memorable dishes like the hot dog and the corn dog. The freshly cooked pasta was great too. In terms of service, it was pretty good in general. The staff serving food are really friendly and they also say hello to you. There's a few fun interactions depending on the staff member. We didn't rate it as 5-star as the staff were so busy that they didn't really have time to clear the plates very often and we needed to chase for our tap water. On to value for money. I think for a first time at the restaurant, it's a 4. Not only does the food taste good, you also get fantastic theming, so it's a must-try restaurant in the Walt Disney Studios park. It's also even better value if you're on the meal plan. All the areas in the restaurant were clean from the food area and also the table and seating, so we rated that as 5. And on to the big question, is it worth it? Yes, I think it is. There's fantastic theming that's really fun, making it stand out from the other buffets. Food and service was good, and I think you get value for money, especially because it's such a special experience compared to the other restaurants at Disneyland Paris. Overall, I'd give it a star rating of 4. It would be pretty cool if Disney could make it into character dining with Marvel characters too. And here's a bonus tip for you for making it this far into the video. You can ask for tap water at the restaurant. It's free, and it comes in this really cool flask. Thanks for watching! Don't forget to subscribe for future videos!